and welcome to a very special episode of FanWorks Fridays, where we are going to be looking at, technically not that, we're going to be looking at Steven Universe. Because the Reunited special just aired recently, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of good material based off what we saw over the past week, honestly, but definitely of that last episode, because that last episode was killer. So let's see. God, the amount of emotions that went into, especially that last episode, but that whole arc, where it was all just something else, and I want to begin to try to explain it all, but we'll start it with here. Probably one of the most beautiful moments in modern Western animation history. And definitely one of the most important moments. Was, I think, the first, I need to check my facts on this one, but the first woman-to-woman on-screen marriage proposal for a animated family show. Which leads to, come on, where is it? Come on, it's gotta be here. Come on. Don't fail me now, Tumblr. Don't fail me now. Where is it? Hold for one moment. There it is. Which led to the, once again, I believe, I'd have to do my research on it, but the first woman-to-woman kiss on screen for an animated family mainstream network cartoon, which, just, first of all, that's an amazing feat in the first place. And I especially love the clever design choice by the Crewniverse and by Rebecca Sugar to subvert expectations and put Ruby in the wedding dress, because I was thinking about that among a few other things after the special, and I thought, that's really clever, because censorship in a lot of countries tries to paint off Ruby and Sapphire as Ruby being like a boy gem, because Ruby looks very masculine. So it's the perfect catch-22 for anyone who's tried to do that. And I'm always game for gaming the suckers, but just a beautiful moment, and now I get to look at beautiful fan art of the whole special, but especially of Reunited. Oh god. And Lapis coming back, that was so beautiful. That was so awesome. I did not expect that. I didn't. When I saw the episode title, I knew that there was going to be one of two things definitely happening. This was before the Roof Fire separation and get back together and then marriage arc was more explicitly known during the week. This was like weeks ahead whenever we knew that Reunited was going to be a thing. I thought there was two possible choices. There was Lapis coming back, and then there was Lars of the Stars and the Off-Colors finally making it to Earth, because all of those situations would dignify a Reunited tagline. And honestly, after Can't Go Back, I didn't think Lapis would come back quite as quickly. But she proved me wrong. And she did it in the best way possible. I ain't even mad. I'm not even mad that the whole barn got destroyed. She tossed that whole god dang building on the Blue Diamond, and she showed them what was up. Just another beautiful moment, because it shows that she's grown. And I'm not dumb. I know Lapis Lazuli has been a very divisive character on Steven Universe for a while. Ever since the season 1 finale, if we're all being honest. When she pulled a fast one on old Jasper. And I might be wrong about this, because I haven't, looked too explicitly deep into it. But I feel like it's the one moment we can all be proud of coming from Lapis Lazuli. She came back. I almost want this to be her outfit. She got poofed and Lapis got poofed, and they're gonna come back with their star outfits, and that's just cool, and I almost want this to be it. I mean, I really don't, but I almost do, because she's such a goof. I know I'm talking a lot about Reunited, and I know Reunited wasn't the only episode that happened there, and it certainly wasn't the only significant thing, but we're all lying to ourselves if we if Reunited didn't rock our worlds. And I think it's interesting because in the We Should Only Think About Love, the song that started out the episode, which also appreciated that, also loved that because it was just like a big musical number, and it felt exactly like the start of like an act 2 in a musical, which if you're not familiar with musicals, which at this point I don't know how many of you are or are not, but if you're not familiar with musicals, act 2 is usually where things start to change, and they start to usually change very poorly in not the favor of the main characters, not favorably for the main characters, because most musicals of the modern day are usually just 2 acts, the opening act and the closing act. So it felt like the opener to a season 2, not a season 2, an act 2 of a musical, because you could tell that there was stuff working its way in the background. And one of the things I liked is how they showed Lapis back on the moon, because it showed that she ran from Steven, but she didn't go very far once again, or that she couldn't. No matter just how scared she got, she couldn't turn her back. And then she didn't. And then she showed Blue Diamond what was up, because when Blue Diamond tried to use her emotional manipulation powers, she was completely unaffected. Which, once again, a lot of good stuff coming from this episode. It showed that not only could you find a vast amount of strength to overcome troubling circumstances, I am the will of 2 gems to care for each other, through love, as Garnet is doing now. No matter how vast or how cruel, you couldn't stop me 5,750 years ago. That's going to look weird in the recording. I am the will of 2 gems to care for each other, to protect each other from any threat. See if I can find no matter how vast or how there we go. You couldn't stop me 5,750 years ago.
And 8 months.
Just the subtle things that are good. But yeah, that you can find strength in love and through your people. Very, very standard stuff. That's very, very good. But also a much deeper message that sometimes you can find strength through hardships. Through your trauma, you can find the strength to overcome more obstacles in the future. And as much as believing in yourself and in your friends, I think is really, really instilled into a lot of media, into a lot of our society, I don't think a lot has been done yet to show that even, and I could be wrong, I mean, maybe I just don't get out enough or I don't watch enough stuff, but I don't think enough stuff has been done in the mainstream to tell people that, yes, you can go through this trauma, but you can find strength, and it might take some time. It's not going to happen overnight, over the next day. Might not even happen for a while, but you're going to find that strength, and it's going to be awesome. And you're going to be awesome. Pink Diamond in her rose quartz soldier uniform. Glorious. Everybody's favorite diamond. Everybody's favorite diamond. Wonderful. Let's see. And then I think what was happening at the end there when Steven was like a ghost. I haven't rewatched I've only watched the episode once, and that's partly because like it was such an emotional experience for me whenever I was watching it the first time, especially since I was watching it with my brother's fiance, and a very good friend of mine, and we all were just completely floored. And I'd had a pretty long emotional night up to that point because I was finishing a couple of other things and doing a couple of other things with some other friends, which put me in a very good place to enjoy this, not finale, but to enjoy this special at its fullest. And it just left me so, like, satisfyingly drained. Like, because there's just so much put into this. And to have it fulfilled, to have she would have worn a tux or a suit. I'm not ready for Lapis in the suit, but I was just in the perfect place to kind of enjoy it, so to speak. I can't believe she just shattered the rose quartz sword like it was nothing. I mean, I'm not surprised. She's literally a giant woman, but like, it's not a weak sword. Bismuth don't make weak swords. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find like a screenshot from the promo. Do I have to look up like leaks? Also, another quick shout out to Peridot really quickly. She went into basically a final boss battle with a beginner level spell, and she was fully confident that she was going to just do it. And there's a certain amount of appreciation that can be had for that level of confidence. It's the confidence I aspire to every day. Wow, the Steven Universe leaks tag is very dated. But we're gonna find it. Nah, that's too dated. So that's why we're gonna take a trip to everyone's favorite website. Let's see. Steven Universe promo. There we go.
Oh, Pink! You've been here all along.
I don't have any of Pink or Rose's memories.
How did you even survive? We blasted the planet and obliterated every gem on its surface.
Let's see, I'm going to skip ahead because I'm just going to try to avoid like any kind of copyright claims. Not that it really matters at this point in time of what I'm doing, but what I think is important to discuss. Now, and what I'm going to assume is probably another 30-minute special because Reunited was episodes 23 and 24, and there's usually 26 in a season. So I think Corruption is going to be another 30-minute special. Now, there are some talks going around the fandom that are thinking that maybe Corruption is going to be like it. It's going to be like the end. It's going to be like the final. And I don't think it's going to be the final because there's no way we're going through this entire series without seeing White Diamond, even once, even in a flashback. But more importantly, Lars needs to come back, and I don't think that's happening in the next 2 episodes, because that would be weird. There's a lot of people who are like saying that maybe the diamonds are going to be redeemed, and I do think that they will be redeemed. I don't think it's going to be at this moment. There's a lot of talk about the diamonds helping Steven, aka Pink Diamond, try to cure the corruption of the gems on the planet. And that can go one of 2 ways. Either it's going to happen or it's not. And I know that's stupid to say it that way because that's literally all the possibilities. But let me explain as best as I can. So, personally, inside my heart of hearts, I don't think it's going to happen. Because if the diamonds help Steven uncorrupt all the gems, then what happens from there? The problem I have with that, is that Centipede showed in the Monster Buddies episode, I believe that's what it was called, that she doesn't very much care for the diamonds anymore. That she is very, very angry and very, very upset that they did what they did. She doesn't understand that they didn't mean to do this, but I don't think the, hey, we didn't mean to maim you and turn you into a psychotic monster, we just meant to kill you, talk is going to go over very well. And I think the diamonds are going to realize this. So if Centipede doesn't outright attack the diamonds and kind of convince them to not do anything about it and just kind of leave this mess to Pink and just promise to stay away from the Earth forever, I don't think that they are going to help cure the corruption. I think that's going to be something that Steven has to figure out for himself. Because I don't think it's wholly impossible for him to do it by himself. But I think it's going to be a very intimate process and one that requires a combination of his healing abilities and his astral projection and going into other people, into other gems. Because as Pearl demonstrated in a single Pale Rose, you can physically go into gems. So I think it might be something like that. So they're going to leave Earth for some reason, and they're not going to help Steven cure the corruption. As much as more diamonds helping would make sense, but then those gems are just going to start attacking the diamonds, and then we have all this problem all over again. Plus, there needs to be something for the series going forward. And I think what I described in my earlier theory video, which I'll put a link to right at the end of this video and in the description, is that the diamonds are going to leave here. They're going to put Earth off limits. They're going to give it to Steven. Steven and the gems will have officially saved Earth from every threat that could personally come to them. So then they just got to heal the corruption, which they'll do over the next season, and there's going to be some complications that come there. I'm not going to spoil it all. Just look here. It'll be good. Okay, so let's look at some more fan art before we end this off, because we're starting to hit time, and I meant to look at more fan art. And I did, for a bit, but then I got distracted talking about Steven Universe, and if that's not a metaphor on my life, then I don't know what else is. This was also a surprising, friendship that bloomed out of it. I thought Bismuth might think Peridot is annoying, but then again, Bismuth and Peridot kind of share something in common. As was described in the Steven Universe podcast, Peridot is sort of like the mascot of the Crystal Gems. And I think before Peridot, it was Bismuth. Because they're both very high energy, they're both very passionate about where they're at now, and they're both very, very about what they're doing. So at one end, it's surprising, but at another end, they do have a lot in common, surprisingly, whenever you look at it. And I think we'll end it off by looking at Garnet in her wedding attire, which is just beautiful. The whole episode was beautiful. Before, my ranking for a perfect episode was, at about the same place everyone else's is. It was at Jailbreak and The Return. Reunited blew that out of the water somehow, and I think that's going to be a very common opinion among the rest of the community. And I'm not going to be ashamed to be a part of that majority, because Reunited was truly Steven Universe at its best. And there are some people who are very skeptical. They say it's only going to go downhill from here. But I think it's only got one place to go. That's up. So, thank you everybody for joining me on this very special episode of FanWorks Fridays. I hope you all have a good night. And remember, every video is a party. And you're invited to the next one. Catch you later.